Well, we're back, and we were talking about unlearning to relearn to learn again. It's the first step, basically. The first step in Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Sexual Addicts Anonymous, Codependence Anonymous, basically speaks to unlearning, addressing a lie that we had believed in our lives had been working for us. That step says that we admitted that we were powerless over our addictions and that our lives had become unmanageable. See, we had to unlearn the lie that we were okay. It went on for years. I spent 30 years in addiction from the age of 9 years old up until almost 40 something. uh, that's saying that my life was okay. This was the lie that I was living to hide the pain of the unmanageability of my life. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does, because once we come to this first step and understand that we've been living a lie, uh, then the recovery process can start. Unlearning that we're okay when we're not is a process. It really is a decision to really honestly take a look at ourselves and say, what is truth? What is truth? If you're in arrears in child support, your life's unmanageable. If you in and out of jails for years, mm, that tends to let us believe that something's unmanageable. If you've got tickets piling up in the drawer, your life's unmanageable. If you haven't paid taxes in years, your life is unmanageable. If you can't keep a job, your life is unmanageable. If you spend all of your money on drugs, alcohol, or sex, your life is unmanageable. This is a revelation, an epiphany, if you will, to say that something is amiss, there is a problem. That is step one. That is the first step that we all must take to recover, is to understand that we've been living a lie saying that our lives are okay when in actuality they're not. Once that step is taken, and that starts right here in the mind, then we start to relearn. We start to relearn and look at ourselves honestly. And again, if we were in jails and we were in institutions and we were in recovery centers and we were destroying relationships and our children won't talk to us and our parents and everybody else, and we're experiencing three major things: fear, guilt, or shame, we can start to learn or relearn how to deal with these inconsistencies, these failures in our lives. The biggest thing that I had to relearn was I was an addict. I am an addict. My behaviors are compulsive. I don't make good decisions when I am under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It's a simple thing and it sounds easy to say, but coming to that realization and learning how to deal with my own addiction is the relearning to learn process. What I did really discover is that it really isn't about me. There is a greater purpose, there is a greater power, there is a uh, spiritual aspect of addiction. I'm going to leave this lesson with this. When I say the word sorcery, what do you think of? Merlin the magician? Possibly. Warlocks, darkness, spiritual stuff, spells, witchcraft. That is what most people will respond to when you ask them, what do you think of when the word sorcery is used? Well, let me leave you with this on this lesson. Sorcery, the word sorcery in the Greek is pharmakia. Pharmakia, of course, is the root word for pharmaceuticals. When I first heard that, it really blew me away. It really blew me away because it turned on the light bulb, so to speak, that I finally realized that the condition in which I struggled with, addiction, is a spiritual condition. The spiritual condition can only be addressed with a spiritual solution. It's just like trying to turn a bolt on a car, big fat bolt that needs a crescent wrench or a socket wrench. It's like trying to turn that bolt or that socket wrench with a screwdriver. Not going to work too well, is it? So remember, we have to unlearn, to relearn, to learn again, which starts with a very important step, and that's realizing that our lives are truly unmanageable. We're going to stop with that, and then we'll come back with the next lesson on understanding that there is power, and the power that's needed to arrest and turn back addiction does not come from ourselves. Think about that. We'll see you in a minute.